On April 23rd of this year was the last time that I mentioned the case of Mario's store on this channel. The last thing that we knew was that selling his store was not an option, and that I would be attentive to his updates. While Mario Lara, the protagonist of this shocking case, has since continued to upload videos on his social networks. Despite the fact that paranormal things have practically diminished, they have not disappeared completely. The incidents in his store, far from diminishing, are beginning to affect his surroundings, his family, and his customers. Shocking stories and recordings that will surely surprise you. Today we present the chilling case of Mario Lara, Part 2. The video where I explain in detail about Mario Lara's disturbing situation has been one of the most viewed stories on my channel. And it is because his case has not left anyone indifferent due to the disturbing events that he has made public. A summary for those who do not know him. Mario is a young Mexican who had invested all of his life savings into starting his own business. A store that would be the starting point for turning future projects that he had in mind into a reality. However, from one moment to another, his dreams were cut short when strange and chilling things began to happen in the store. First, it started with a piñata that incredibly changed its location. But over time, there were other objects that began to move on their own, unleashing fear in both his workers and himself. Which is why he installed more security cameras inside. Those same cameras repeatedly captured the presence of a sinister being that apparently had decided to stay in the premises. If you want to learn more about it, you can watch the first video I made by clicking on the description. A video that, as I said, has been one of the most viewed due to its story, and mainly for the disturbing footage that Mario managed to record. After all the recordings that he uploaded up to that moment, and tired of all the attempts to expel this entity, Mario decided that the best thing was to follow the advice of his followers, and he allowed people interested in this subject to inspect his store during the night. It was thus that many YouTube channels specialized in paranormal issues made live broadcasts from his store. They expected a notorious manifestation of something paranormal, just like the first videos that he uploaded. But as you know, truly paranormal things are rare. They almost never happen. These paranormal hunters found nothing in more than 10 hours of recordings. This gave the indication that Mario's whole story had come to an end. After the virality of his videos and of the visits of YouTubers from different parts of the world, he spent more than a week where his store did not record any occurrences. In fact, Mario came to think that due to these recordings, that entity had left. However, a week after a vacation, inside the store, he began to feel sick. He suffered from headaches and even nosebleeds, though he had never suffered from it before. A constant nosebleed that added to the almost impossible task of falling asleep, greatly reducing Mario's physical and mental health. His friends, family, and neighbors already knew of his situation, and his recordings became extremely popular. But for Mario, this was not the important thing. His health was first. This is how, after a few days of rest and with his business flourishing at full capacity, one day the tenant of a store nearby came over, assuring him that he was also experiencing the same episodes, including the hearing of strange noises. During the following days, more tenants of nearby stores came telling him similar situations. A kind of collective psychosis began to affect their environment. From one moment to another, many places were being affected. His friends tried to reassure him by convincing him that they were nothing more than their imagination. However, after a few days, a fire in an adjoining premises became the last straw.
¿Sabemos si hay personas atrapadas? Bueno, aún lo desconocemos, pero aquí hay gran cantidad de paramédicos de Cruz Roja, de Cruz Verde, bastante movilización por parte de los bomberos del municipio de Guadalajara.
It was the candy store owner who came to see him just the day before. His store had been left in ashes in a matter of minutes. Although there is no way to verify that this fire was caused by that entity, that coincidence does not stop drawing attention. True to the path that he had taken, he continued to accept the suggestions of his followers, that his followers told him on social networks. One of them was to adopt a cat to keep him company in the store. It is believed that cats can calm spirits, that they are portals to the unknown. You see, in certain occult books, there is the idea that rather than calm spirits, cats make the portals stronger, making the manifestations of these things intensify after the months go by. Mario wanted a pet just for company. He was not convinced that cats had the virtues to detect that kind of thing. However, several times he found the cat hissing and growling at something invisible. He only managed to make one recording of this. He didn't want to pay too much attention to it, but still he kept it in mind as a sign that everything could happen again. After a few days of silence on his social networks, he uploaded a new recording on his Facebook page. Event recorded one night when he was working on his computer. The day seemed calmed until strange banging sounds made Mario and his cat extremely nervous. What happened next? Check it out for yourself.
Están escuchando unos ruidos allá. ¡Ay! Esos ruidos están escuchando. Estoy nervioso el gato. Espérate. Espérate. Espérame. Ven. Espérame. Well. Espérame, no me hagas ruidos.
Incredibly, when he turns his camera, he finds that one of the piñatas was upside down, causing Mario to feel uneasy and quickly runs away. This shocking footage again went viral on social networks. There were thousands of internet users who simply did not believe what their eyes saw. It goes without saying that from now on, the cat would be his new companion in this disturbing situation. And he already knew that if his pet repeated its behavior, it was because something was happening around him. However, in the video you just watched, something happened that went unnoticed by both him and his audience. Look closely. Thanks to this photograph taken as the camera rotates, Mario begins to think that it is not just one, but there would be two entities that inhabit his store. A hypothesis that, according to Mario, is proven thanks to a new experiment carried out by a YouTuber who this time accepted the challenge of spending a night alone there. They installed cameras throughout the premises so that any manifestation, however subtle it may be, would be recorded. The result of this new experiment, once again, caused a high impact on social networks. After this last video, he could not fall asleep. So to have a better night, he decides to use the virtual reality VR cases to distract himself a bit. Luckily, he was immersed in the game because what was about to happen would surely have given him a heart attack. I remind you that Mario's friend was alone in the store. That child should never have been there. The most terrifying thing is that only demons have the ability to manifest themselves in physical form. And the most dangerous are those who decide to take form as a child. Mario believes that this entity is responsible for his headaches and nosebleeds. Do you think Mario is correct? If it is a demon, why does it take the form of a child? Questions that everyone asks, but nobody dares to answer. The last thing he uploaded corresponds to a shocking moment lived by one of his co-workers who was looking for tools in a toolbox. A task that would be abruptly interrupted when something totally inexplicable caused him the greatest fear he has ever felt in his life. Observe. Shocking footage that, thanks to the dissemination on social networks, have had repercussions in all corners of the world, and that surely, unfortunately for Mario, there are still many chapters to tell. To this day, Mario continues to upload anything suspicious that happens both inside and outside his store. Things that not only affect him, but seem to be affecting an entire perimeter having as an epicenter the same room where the child came from. What does the future hold for him? How much more can he take? Questions that only time will answer.